Welcome back to the GROMcast. It's been a while, but we're back, and we're gonna do a special one just for E3. I know it's a couple days late, but we're gonna do it anyway. I'm here with Mike and Ryan. Christian couldn't be here
Who?
today, so we're gonna start off with our first topic, talking about how Reggie was talking about the NX and its power. He was talking about how it's not trying to compete, which is it's kind of always been Nintendo's thing not to compete with Sony and Microsoft. But he's talking about like the NX isn't about competing. A lot of people were hoping, especially me, and I know probably Ryan and Mike, were hoping that the NX was gonna go out and compete power wise with the other two consoles, especially with the new ones that are coming out, like the Neo and the what are they even called now? I don't even remember. The PS4.
Scorpio
Uh,
and
The
Neo.
Scorpio and the
Scorpio and
Neo,
Neo.
whatever, because they're coming out with those, and people are coming out like hoping, like, oh, I hope we're not getting like literally just the Wii U 2, which is just last generation technology in like this gimmicky console, which it seems like what they're going to be doing because
hmm
Reggie's talking about it. Um, Mike, you haven't said anything. What do
Reginald.
you want to say, Mike?
Well, think about it. I almost don't know if that was a clarification that it was going to be worse specs or not. Because he said their goal isn't to compete; it's just to be kind of there and make what they like and what how they like it. So
If he had just
I
said
guess
that, go ahead.
I guess they could just because they did. He does like say like the title of I think the article was like Wii U was or like the NX is not about teraflops or something like that. But it's like
It should
Yeah,
be.
he said we're not. I can't remember if he said I'm going to let Sony and Microsoft fight it out in their red ocean, and we're just going to do our own thing.
which to me says like if they want to attract third party and more consumers, they could make it more powerful. But in their minds, I don't think that necessarily is important to them. They're going to keep making what they want. But what really is important is are they going to have the catalog for it? Because the Wii U was a
First
kind of
party
sparse
only
catalog.
system.
It was a
Well,
financial failure because of it.
well, it was a first party only system, which wasn't bad. It was the fact that the first party games were kind of sparse for a long time.
Well, yeah, and that
There's
that's the
there's like
problem
a
with having a
period.
first party only system because Nintendo isn't going to kick out a million games. You know what I mean?
Well, they had the ability to because it was like for 6 months where we didn't have like any Nintendo games, and then like probably every other month we were getting at least one.
Well,
So it's
yeah,
like
we had no games because they were making the games, and then they came out with a bunch of. They were just like that's the way they timed the releases.
so
Yeah.
if they could actually hire more studios and actually make more games and keep the first party games rolling, I think this wouldn't be awful for them. They just need the catalog to attract people to buy it.
Well, I don't think, especially with the last two generations, that anyone's going to be buying a Wii U or a NX for third parties. Like
No,
I don't
definitely
think
not.
like they've just killed their like their user base on that front, and I
But
don't
I mean,
know.
the whole point of
Reggie
third
basically
parties.
confirmed, like, if he had just said that they're about doing their own thing, and it wasn't like answering a question about how powerful is the NX or whatever. I don't remember what the specific question is, but it was like, what was it? What was the question? I don't know. But anyway, it was like about power, and he's like, no, we're not competing with them. Where was I going with this? I totally forgot.
It's something about the question that was actually asked.
I don't remember. No, I had it was before that. I had something I was gonna say. But if it wasn't in relation to that, I might think it was doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a weak system, but it was in comparison. It was like in answering that question, so it's
I mean, that
definitely
could
not
al-
going to be a stronger system.
it could also be the usual Nintendo tiptoeing around the topic to get an answer that people might like.
I don't know. That was a pretty straightforward answer. No, it's going to be sucky. You know what I mean? Like he said it in like a polite way, but like he basically said, no, we're not really going for a strong hardware.
I mean, the whole point about third party games is to add value to a console
Mm-hmm.
Let's
because
say
then
that
they
that's
don't have to make every single game, and then you get more out of buying that console because you have more titles to choose from. And I mean, it's sad that with the NX being underpowered as it's supposedly going to be, they're just going to lose out on a bunch of value, and that's what makes me not want to buy one because that's why I didn't
well,
buy a Wii U.
the
There's no
thing is,
point.
power isn't. power is a very misleading topic now with gaming because you can look at Nintendo's most powerful console they made, well, in terms of other consoles on the market, being the
In relation to the
GameCube,
time, yeah.
obviously the most
Well, and the
powerful
Nintendo
console.
64 too. They were both really powerful.
The GameCube was the most powerful console on the market at that time, and it still basically flopped.
Hmm.
It's not about power; it's about the games that they can produce. Which,
Well, the thing is, they can't. Nintendo themselves can't produce that many games, or maybe they can, but they're not going to kick out that many games, and they have to appeal to a huge audience, and a huge audience wants the multiplets. They want the Call of Duties, they want the Assassin's Creeds, they want just all the
yeah,
other games, and they're not going to get that if they make a gimmicky, underpowered console because no developer wants to develop for that because it's not worth it.
And they're gonna have to maybe make another version of the game, like they had to do with the Wii. Every Wii game
Yeah,
was like a
exactly.
different version than the main one because it was so
And when it
underpowered
and
that
when
they
it came to the
yeah.
Wii U, people they were just like, no, I'm not doing it. Ubisoft was like the only company that tried, and they just kept shooting themselves in the foot.
Hmm.
what I'm almost thinking about now with the NX is instead of it because they're kind of starting to reiterate a lot now that it's not a replacement for the Wii U. It's something to have alongside the Wii U and another experience.
I don't
I'm
know. Have they
almost
said
thinking
it's
now.
anything something to have alongside the Wii U? Because I know where you're going with
This
this. You're going that it's a handheld, right?
this article I have up right now on IGN, it's say Nintendo opted against revealing its new console at this year's E3, but plans to share more about it this year. Tatsumi Kimishima has made it clear NX won't be a pure replacement for the Wii U, and will instead offer a new way of playing games when it launches in March 2017.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
Reggie said in that interview that their focus is to bring their best entertainment to both the Wii U and the NX in the future. So it's almost like, are they going to release a Wii U without the gamepad?
That sounds stupid. That sounds like
Either
they're gonna.
either a Wii U without the gamepad or a Wii U crammed into the gamepad.
Yeah, one
It
of the
sounds like they're
two.
just gonna segment their own audience.
Not that's not
Unless
segmenting
they
it
can
though.
run the same games and that the
No, that's
development
the
platform is
Because
uniform, so that
if I could have like the Zelda that they're showing off, and we're gonna talk about that in a little bit, but if I could
and
have
have it
that
mobile.
and have that mobile, have that anywhere, even if
Oh
it
my
is a big
god.
brick like the Wii U, that would be incredible. That
Oh
would be
my god.
awesome. But
It's so nice.
if they're not, if the Wii U is their peak of their hardware right now, I mean, the Zelda U looks or the Zelda Breath of the Wild looks impressive. It looks nice. I mean,
Mhm.
not graphically wise. Graphically, it has a lot of problems. It looks like a last gen title basically. I mean, Nintendo does their magic and they make it look really nice. They make it look breathtaking in its own right. But it's still you can't cut it any other way. It has like kind of
I
lackluster graphics.
right now I think it's a little lackluster, but it also has a year of optimization it can still
I
go
don't know.
through.
You can
That
say it all
thing
you want. You can say that about
that game
every time I've
that
seen.
game won't
Go ahead.
that game won't be going gold until February at the like maybe earliest. That's like 8 months they have to just basically touch up the graphics. That's all that they have to do now at this point, probably.
Probably not. They're probably bug testing. I think what you see in the demo is what it's going to look like. I don't
Think
think
Yeah.
they're
so?
going
Don't
to.
think it's
Yeah,
gonna have any improvements.
no. If anything, it's
No.
going to have a downgrade. Games don't look bad. Don't games don't get better looking. They get worse looking.
Well, it depends if they because Nintendo's been known to not really show something until they think it's ready to be shown.
Exactly.
But if
That just proved my
if
point.
they if they made the game just so that it could be shown well enough at E3, and then they get done with all the bug testing, figure out like whatever might be causing it to like not really be able to be running to its fullest, optimization, they it might be able to improve the graphics a little bit. It won't
I
be a
don't know about
drastic
that.
increase, but it might be a little
I don't
cleaner
think so.
cut.
I don't know.
Don't
There's
think
not
so?
because there's not. I mean, what did they get? Like they might be able to improve the render distances or something, which I mean that would make it a little bit better looking, but I don't think they can improve it that much. I mean,
No, it won't be a drastic increase. It could be a slight increase though.
I don't know. It depends. It really depends on what the NX is. If the NX is a more powerful console than the Wii U, And if it's its own thing, I don't know. It really depends on what the NX is, because if it's a more powerful console, then you're probably going to get a better looking version on the slightly better graphics on the NX version. Like, even
Right now,
though they're
I'm not-
saying it's not going to be more powerful, it still will probably be a bit better looking on the NX, depending on what it is.
Right now, I'm not expecting the NX to have any sort of spec increase.
From the
I'm
Wii
kind
U,
of
I hope there's something. I mean, if it's not a handheld, there better be something. Otherwise, there no one's who's buying it. The hardest of core Nintendo fans,
because
like the ultimate Nintendo fans.
Listen,
that's the only people.
If they cut out the gamepad, they cut out $100 worth of costs.
So
that's a lot better. That's a lot better looking, because most of the gaming community agrees that a lot of exclusives on the Wii U are nice, but they don't want the gamepad and they don't want to pay for the gamepad. So if they cut off the gamepad and gave people a little more incentive to pay for their console, people probably would.
I don't know. I don't
think you can look just at Nintendo hardcore for that if they cut off the gamepad.
I think so. Even if they cut out the gamepad, who's going to buy 8-year-old hardware on a thing, like, well, who's going to develop for it? No one. Because if
I still wouldn't say the Wii U's 8-year-old hardware. It's a little better than PS3 and Xbox 360.
It's slightly,
and
we've seen
that.
Hardware.
Okay, we've seen that from games that released alongside it on all three of those systems, and the Wii U clearly looked better than those. So I wouldn't say it's 8-year-old, more like maybe 2010 hardware.
But still,
probably hardware that came out halfway through PS360 lifetime.
PS4 and Xbox One are already underpowered. I mean, not that anyone who's buying, like, most of the people who are buying consoles would really get that, but, like, I don't know. I don't think there's a huge market for just not having the gamepad. I don't think there's that much of a market for that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that wouldn't even really be... That's not even worthy of, like, teasing a whole new console at us and calling it a new experience. That's not a new experience. It's just taking the gamepad away.
What if it's VR?
I'd be slightly impressed, probably.
I
don't know, depending on what it is. I don't know.
What if Nintendo releases VR and unleashes like 16 cores of CPU that they've just been hiding?
I'd be scared that the Wii U could handle VR, which it probably couldn't.
I doubt it.
I doubt it could.
If the PS3 or 4 and Xbox One have to release other versions to handle VR, I highly.
It's the Virtual Boy 2, guys.
PS4,
yes, it's what I've wanted forever.
The PS4 doesn't need the Neo to run VR though. The regular PS4 is going to run the PSVR also.
But not well.
Yeah, but the Wii U isn't PS4.
No, I'm just telling Ryan that he said that.
Yeah, people are saying it's not going to run very well, but we don't technically know yet.
Sony's probably not going to release that. It's not going to run very well. They probably won't even try on the original PS4.
People who buy consoles don't care. They don't. I don't understand.
They're used to 30 FPS, bro.
Yeah.
Well, I think
I've heard that anything less than 60 or 90 is nauseating, but I don't know.
No, anything less than 60 is no bueno. 60's fine. 90's better. 120's great, but anything less than 60's bad.
Well,
what about 144?
The PSVR use interpolation to give you. I think it runs natively at 90, but it uses interpolation to give you 120.
That's good.
Which I've heard that doing that, like artificially increasing the frame rate doesn't necessarily look very good in VR though.
I wouldn't know. I have a TV that uses it to give you for 60 frames, so that can look pretty decent. I don't know, but I'm also sitting, like 10 feet away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
No, I don't know what to think of the console. I kind of hope it's something that makes me actually want to buy it, but they need to kind of release games for that to happen.
Yeah, we need to see more for really any kind of judgment, really. Other than being disappointed that they're not competing with Sony and Microsoft, which is what
I
Nintendo's really
really,
been about the whole time.
I really hope Nintendo had this as their like long-term plan. Like, use the Wii U. No, it wasn't going to do good, but use that as a 4-year stepping stone to actually learn how to develop HD games.
I don't think they really
I don't
thought
think
that
so.
far ahead.
Yeah.
No, they knew coming into this that they didn't have the experience that other studios had in making HD games. They even said that, yeah, our development is sucky right now because we don't know how to do this.
Sorry.
So I'm hoping they kind of develop some HD engines with the Wii U, and
They really
They've already
shot
had
themselves in the
HD
foot
engines.
then. They like really screwed themselves over because now there's like no market for Nintendo games.
Exactly.
yeah,
They, I
I
don't know.
I think they could. I think they could come back, give us like a good Metroid, at least another Zelda within a few years.
I don't know. This if they, it, like it depends on what the NX is. If this one comes out on a new console, like a totally new console, and it looks great and it's really fun, and then they come out with like a Metroid and a Super Mario 64 like Sunshine-esque Mario and like a
Give us like
couple
another
of good
like big JR.
multiplats, they would be
Give us like
golden.
another. Give us like another big JRPG like Xenoblade or something.
Yeah.
They'd be fine.
Yeah, they would do great. But that's not what's gonna happen. So I don't know. Like it
Probably
doesn't
not.
even have to be as like it just has to be like at PS4, Xbox tier. You know what I mean? Like we're like midway
Yeah.
through the generation right now. It doesn't have to like destroy them power wise.
Mhm.
Nintendo's never been about that, and it doesn't really matter that much. Nintendo's great at like polishing their games to look really good anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Let's move on. Let's talk about the Breath of the Wild, which
Looked good.
personally, I was really nervous about it looking just kind of like not that good, like just being kind of like another formulaic Zelda. But I was also really hopeful from all the things that I've heard, like Aonuma and Miyamoto say and stuff like that, and where they were like they're going back to the roots of the original Zelda, and I was like, that's kind of sounds good. I hope they actually follow through with that and not just kind of like throw in a few little things here and there and be like, look guys, the first Zelda. But no, they made it look really, really fun. Like there's so much openness, and I can't help but think like Metal Gear Solid 5 and just like the openness of the game and like what you can do and how you can just like you can create your own ways to play and you can play it your own way, you know?
Yeah, I also don't think that the game ended up looking quite as empty as we were expecting it.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of people say it looks really empty, but that's only because they took a bunch of the shit out for the demo because or they purposely played in an area where there was not much in it because they didn't want to
Yeah,
give
they.
anything away.
I mean, we saw there are like 3 shrines. What they're calling them shrines in that area that we saw,
Yeah.
which those look pretty fun. And that was also a small area, so like,
That
we
was a
didn't
very
get
small
to
area of the game.
considering you saw like the map. The area there was like this on the
Yeah.
map, and every other area on the map was like this.
And there's
So
like
it's like,
I saw at least 8 or 9 other one of those bigger
and then
areas.
and everything around that was faded out. Like it hasn't been even discovered yet. So it's like,
Yeah.
how big is this map actually going to be?
I don't know. I stopped watching or I had to go do something or something. I had to stop watching the stream right before they had Aonuma on, and he was like, yeah, we're gonna leave the little area we've been playing in the demo so far, and I was like, oh man, why do I gotta leave now? Forgot what they did.
I didn't know if they actually left the area. I didn't see that part. Also,
I know
they
set a
went and did
waypoint.
it. I know they went and did a dungeon in a different or a shrine in a different area,
Oh, okay.
and it was like a lot more complicated shrine than what was in that first area. So
I also like how they started you off. If that's how they start the game, you know, they started off and they didn't like give you a bunch of like stupid shit to do. Like they're just like, here's the game, have fun.
yeah, who was it? One of them, someone got interviewed and they said that you could literally beat the game by doing not even doing
Naked
that
with a
whole
stick.
game. You could go straight to the boss and beat it because apparently you can access the boss right off the bat. So if you wanted, you could just not even play the game, not play the story, just go straight to the boss and try to win.
So speedrunning's gonna be really easy.
5-second speed run.
Unless they
Exactly.
made the boss like stupidly like
I assume
does
they
like
would.
6 hearts of damage, so no way
Dude,
like
those
one hit
laser
you lose all
things
3
do
hearts.
like 5 hearts of damage. Those like guardians. You see,
Mhm.
they get wrecked like so many times by those things.
Like one of them kept trying to do something where like to like coax it into blowing up a wall so
I
that it
saw
could go
that. Yeah.
through, and they just got hit by the laser and did like 6 hearts. And it's like, jeez.
No, what was I
Um,
gonna say? Should go ahead, Mike.
you don't remember what you're gonna say?
No, I totally forgot.
The game does look really nice to me. Like I
Yeah.
think the game looked a lot more empty the first time they showed gameplay of it. Like they did like the whole gameplay of like the horse.
They showed like 8 seconds of it, and one of them was in like a chasm, and the other one was looking out over the thing where you saw the grass. There was a house, a mountain, a volcano. I mean, it wasn't. It was like slightly less.
Wait,
empty.
are we thinking the same thing?
Yeah, the
Are
first
you
demo
think
they showed of it.
No, I think the one that they showed like the video game awards when they were like the horse doesn't hit trees, it automatically goes around
Oh,
the
yeah,
trees.
sure, yeah.
Like it looked kind of empty from that, but I think they kind of added more stuff and were like,
Well,
hey, there's
probably.
stuff to actually do.
Have you guys seen the fire rod? That looks awesome.
No.
No,
Oh my god! Someone apparently they didn't. I don't think they showed it in any of the demos, but like when people were playing the demo, someone like you could find it, and it literally just throws a giant orb that catches anything it touches on fire. So you just whip this orb around, and just fire starts going everywhere.
so that's why the one Nintendo girl and Bill are were pyros in that game. Freaking Bill Trinan, he had to like set like everything on fire, blow everything up.
All I know
Yeah.
is that I'm gonna
Bill,
be
Bill.
a shield surfer. That's gonna be my professional role in that game. I'm just gonna snowboard down every mountain. That's gonna be what I do.
Shit, I forgot what I was gonna say again.
Oh shit, what up?
Well, we're talking about the pyro stuff, if that has something to do with that.
Oh yeah, there was a thread on 4chan the other day. My favorite place.
Oh
in the world.
no, here we go.
They were talking. They were like, "Whoa, dude, look at the AI!" Because someone lit a fire, like they lit their stick on fire, threw it at one of the moblins, and then it landed on the ground. And the other moblin standing next to it put his stick on the fire and lit his thing
And
on
lit it?
fire. Yeah, and they were like, "Whoa, dude, that's such impressive AI!" And I mean, it kind of is. Like,
It's
that's not
clever
something you
AI,
see. Yeah, that's not something you see in a lot of games. Like,
which I guess that's the Nintendo Touch.
yeah,
They kind of thought about that, like, what if we have fire here and the AI just like, I can use this also.
yeah.
No, it's a very, very nice looking game for what they're doing.
And what did you think of their amiibo implementation?
The Wolf Link, I
Yeah.
think, is kind of neat considering, thankfully, they don't have a companion in this game.
Yeah, thank
The
God.
Wolf, I think, is a neat touch to use. But
Um,
what do you guys think of the actual Breath of the Wild amiibo they showed?
the three of them.
Yeah,
I like them. I like I don't know what did they explain what they do yet?
no, not yet.
No, okay. Because I
They
like
have
the
something
archer
to do
one
with it.
and I like the horse and I like the guardian one. I didn't particularly care for the horse one.
I like the horse one. The one
It
where
was
he's like
okay,
with
but
the
the
hood
other
on.
two were better. Yeah,
I like the detail on the horse on that one.
yeah, that's pretty nice.
I like how
actually
the
looked like
Guardian
at the
one's
end.
I like how the Guardian one is actually opposable,
Yeah, it's got posable limbs, posable squigglies.
which is kind of cool.
Well, Ryan, would you say that the Zelda U has convinced Zelda U? I'm gonna keep calling that forever. Has convinced you to buy a Wii U?
No. Maybe an NX
Yeah,
if they
it's
promise better
depending on what it
games.
is.
But at this point, Nintendo still hasn't, since they only make first-party games and they only sell first-party games. They never make their games go on sale, and they're always $60. And I don't really
Hey man,
feel
they
like
got a sale
spending.
going on right now. You can get
Oh, I'm
Shin
sorry.
Megami Tensei 4
Oh, my
for
favorite.
like $13.
You know
Originally
me,
a
I love-
$50 game because of the Atlas tax.
The Atlas tax.
The Atlas tax. You ever notice how Atlas games are always $50? Well, when they should
No.
be like 40.
No,
No, you never noticed.
I don't
that?
buy it. I don't buy Atlas
Yeah,
ever.
you
So,
guys are scrubs. You don't buy fun, awesome games.
No, I think that Zelda definitely. It might be a year wait till now before we can actually play it, but it's something that's kind of made me a little happy about owning a Wii U already.
Yeah.
I've had my dry patches with the Wii U where I'm still like, I'm kind of upset about it. I don't have many games on it. I think I counted like 9 games the other day I actually bought for it.
I'm kind of, well,
So
it's like I think about it and then I look at my PS4 and I'm like, wow, it's the same thing except I have more games, but I just don't play them because they're all not really good.
Well, that's because we're part of the PC Master Race. There's
Yeah,
no point in buying any games that aren't exclusives.
For me, mostly, I'm always on my computer and my Wii U is in the same room as my computer. If my Wii U is in this room with me, I'd be playing it a lot more.
Yeah, well, that's the same with me. Mine's downstairs, and I just don't go down there to play games. I mean, I do sometimes.
Which I really do need to move my Wii U in here and actually get done with some games I have. I have a pretty decent backlog of stuff I haven't beat.
I don't beat anything, so you know that. I got like 20 games to beat. I had to start over Xenoblade, so I stopped. I just like kind of gave up because I got a new hard drive for my Wii U since it only has, we filled it up, so I got a new hard drive, and I had to delete everything because of circumstances that I'm not going to get into, but I had to delete all my things that were downloaded, and since I downloaded all the things for Xenoblade and the save data is downloaded, or not downloaded, but saved on the hard drive, it got screwed over. So like my 4 or 5 hours in the game already were gone, and I was just kind of like, I'm not going to do this again right now, and I just started playing it again the other day.
I need to beat Tropical Freeze before I can download anything else because that game takes up freaking like 26 gigabytes on the Wii U.
Those are really?
It's a huge game.
That's like,
so I need to
what other game is huge? Oh yeah, Bayonetta. Bayonetta is huge.
I need to beat Tropical Freeze and delete that, and then I can download either Pikmin 3 again and play that, or I can download Xenoblade Chronicles and beat that. But
do you have Xenoblade?
No, I want to buy it though.
Oh yeah, it's good. I like it. I
like
it more than
the first one, not X.
Oh, the first one. Okay, I was gonna say because I actually like X more than the first one so far.
You?
I've been playing them both about equally, and I enjoy. I don't know. The first one is a little like.
Would you say you're really not feeling it?
No, I still like it. Like they're still both good games. I just like X a little bit more. I mean, and maybe that's because I like people probably hate me for saying that, but like. I didn't play the first one first, and I don't have like that. Oh my god, that was because like that was like one of the best RPGs on the Wii, and everyone loves it, and I still like it. It's just I feel like X has a little bit more polish and has a little bit more. I don't know. In Xenoblade Chronicles, the first one, I keep feeling like I don't know what to do or what's right. I like they have really good explanations for things, but like I got stuck at this one boss for a long time. Because I couldn't like do it, like nothing worked, none of my strategies worked, and it's like, well, you just have to go back and you just have to grind for a while because it's the only way. Like you just have to make yourself powerful unless you're just like really good at strategizing and making the things work.
Well, guys, do you know what this podcast was?
What?
This was an E3 podcast that we got very, very off track of.
That's fine.
So you guys,
that's totally fine.
You guys are mentioning you guys like the multi-platforms a lot.
Sure.
Let's talk about Microsoft and how all of their games are now going to be on Windows 10.
I mean,
I'm happy about that. Why would I complain? I feel like people who have Xboxes might be a little bit pissed off, but
well, I wasn't trying to lead into this like complaint. I'm just saying like it's pretty awesome. Everything is going to be on Windows 10 now. It's like no excuse to own an Xbox now.
Yeah, exactly. They just I don't know. Well, the excuse not to own, or the excuse to buy an Xbox is that it's cheaper, and you don't have to do all this work.
But if you already own, if you like PCs and want to have like a decent system at home, then it's much more worth building your PC. Yeah, there's no reason to buy an Xbox.
Because not only is a PC a better multimedia machine, but it's also got all the games that the Xbox has, so there's no reason to get it.
Exactly.
Which I don't. It's an interesting move from them. We were talking about it the other day. What did we say? Like, oh yeah, anyone who's gonna buy an Xbox basically already has one at this point. Yeah. I think. I mean, most of their games, I don't think is gonna persuade anyone to buy an Xbox. So
I don't think the. Oh, continue. Sorry.
They're gonna get more software sales than they are going to get hardware sales. So they're like, well, if we just make all our games available on Windows 10 anyway, then we'll just get even more software sales.
They're kind of playing the Nintendo game now. Nintendo's relied on software sales forever.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, everyone relies on software sales. Even Sony relies on software sales. They were selling at a loss for a while, weren't they? And they were only making profit by their software sales.
yep.
And their TVs and stuff. Sony's a big company.
I'm talking about PlayStation, not just Sony.
Okay.
Yeah, PlayStation is selling at a loss. No, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something and I forgot when I almost interrupted you.
I don't know. Let's jump back. Let's jump back to Nintendo. Did you guys see anything on Sun and Moon?
Just the little
No.
like just the half an hour they showed before the Zelda stream.
I watched, I think, like 35 seconds of one of the streams, and I actually like the graphics. The graphics look pretty nice.
Yeah, it's Pokemon.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
I'll know
Pokemon.
I'll end up buying it, but
I probably won't buy it because after Alpha Sapphire, I just kind of got to the point where like Pokemon bores me now.
Yeah, me too. Basically, I didn't
It's
even
really
finish Alpha
funny.
Sapphire because
I beat it, and then this is good. That's all I need.
Alpha Sapphire was the first Pokemon in like a while that I bought that I didn't go back to do any post game stuff after I beat it. Like I didn't try to train a party. I didn't do anything afterwards. I was just kind of like I finished the story and that's it.
Well, see, that was kind of my problem. I was like doing post game stuff in the, I mean, not like literally, but like I was just like grinding and doing random shit in Alpha Sapphire or whatever I have. I don't remember. I was just doing like random shit in that one because I didn't feel like doing the story because I didn't care. I didn't feel like progressing. I don't know.
Mhm.
Partly probably because I felt like Pokemon X still like hadn't worn off on me yet, and like Pokemon still hadn't worn off on me yet. So like when I played the newer one, it just it felt like more of the same, and I had already done it already.
I should have gone my gut because when Alpha Sapphire came, or like when those games like were coming out, I was telling myself like, this doesn't look super fun to me. I don't know why. I don't even know if I want to get this. And then I got it, and I just beat the story, and that was it. I logged like 200 some hours in X, no Y, and is like, just I didn't get that type of feeling from Alpha Sapphire again. So I probably just will skip.
Also,
Sun.
I saw that one image. I don't know if it's true or not, but they added a thing on your attack, telling you, just
Yes.
feeding
Yeah,
you.
if
Like
it's
there's
super
no
effective.
thought in the gameplay anymore.
They're telling
they
you
just
what
removed everything.
they're telling you what's effective against what
yeah,
now.
they tell you if it's super effective or not effective or whatever, and they just took any thought or any memory or anything out of the game. It's just basically going to be totally brain dead now. I really hope
like
there's an
that.
option to turn that off.
I like that for when it comes to dumb stuff like the fairy type, because the fairy came out only a couple games ago, and
Yeah,
I
it
still
came
don't
out when
know
you
what
when you
beats
pretty
it.
much stopped caring, but like
I still don't
it's
know
stupid.
what fairy beats and what beats fairy.
Fairy beats Dragon.
Fairy beats Dragon.
Fairy beats fairy. I'm pretty sure.
Fairy
and
beats
Dragon.
Dragon. I know
Fairy
because
beats Dragon.
Xena
Does Steel
Xerneas
beat
is a
fairy?
fairy.
Does
I
Steel
don't
beat fairy?
know. I
Who
don't
knows?
remember. It's been like a year since I played it.
Who cares? That no one cares about fairy type. It's stupid. I liked Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. I
I mean,
played
don't
Alpha
get me
Sapphire.
wrong. I didn't dislike those games. I just never really got into it.
I
It's
did.
basically
I liked
it's
it.
my indicator of I'm done with Pokemon. Basically,
Well, and to be honest, X was probably the second Pokemon game that I actually got into and really enjoyed. The first being Emerald. So, I never really
Yeah.
was a huge Pokemon fan.
why
I
gave
played
me
the
the
crap
same
out
feeling?
of Leaf Green, regular
Yeah, I
Sapphire.
played Leaf Green too a
Why?
bit, but I didn't really get into it as much as Emerald.
Why gave me the same feeling as Emerald?
Yeah.
Emerald's easily my favorite of any Pokemon game. I replayed that game like 4 or 5 times.
I remember
I've
that
never
one
got-
time I beat it in. I used an emulator, and you could just use the speed up. I beat it in one night. I just sat there the whole night and just played it. It was great.
Mhm. Some pretty good game.
All right, let's go. Mike, you like Sea of Thieves? You're really intrigued by that game.
Mike, not just Mike. I loved it.
No, Mike.
It
Mike
looks-
specifically. Mike wants to fornicate with it.
I'm clearly the one who really likes it the most out of this group, but
I
Excuse
mean, I just
me.
really haven't. I just watched just before we started this podcast. I just started watching it, or and I didn't just start watching it. I
did you
watched
watch
one of the
the-
trailers. I watched the
did
one
you
with
watch
the
the
cheesy
cringy
actors.
gameplay?
Yeah, I watched the one with
Yeah.
the cheesy actors, but I didn't have any sound
That-
on because I didn't care.
that trailer sucked except the one part where the guy got left on the island. He was like, "No, don't leave
The
me."
trailer didn't suck. It was pretty good.
All the actors ruined that
I
trailer.
kind of skipped around in it.
The gameplay looks nice. It looks really clean.
It looks fun. It's just I don't see there being much to do. They haven't really shown what game modes there are, and if it's just an open world game, or if it's just
Well,
a
you know
game.
we do open world games anyway.
Well,
Just screw
there's
around in the open world.
Yeah, but if I assume it could just be a game where you just get into a lobby with four people, with like four other people, and just fight
no,
each other.
like, they said it's like 100% lobbies.
So there's
I don't
no-
remember. I don't remember where I saw, but I'm pretty sure it's like 100% lobbies.
Okay, so that takes a little bit of my interest away from it. It's still cool. Like I still want to have some
Why?
party battles.
Do you
Yeah,
want
why
a
would
full?
that take your interest away?
You want a full world of just us four in it?
No,
That's
I
so
want a full world
boring.
of a bunch of people in it. and
That's
just
what he
open
just
world.
said. That's what
No,
he
I'm
just
saying,
said.
like,
100-person lobbies.
No, sorry. What I thought you were saying is that it would be like small lobbies of like 4 ships.
No.
How
like
did you get
100
that?
people. Like,
That's what he
That's
what I said, and then-
100-person lobbies.
That's what I said, and then he responded to it. But anyway,
I don't remember where I saw it. I remember them saying they don't think of it as an MMO, but it's also like large lobbies that you're playing in.
mm,
And I'm pretty sure there's also stuff where like there's gonna be sea monsters that you can fight eventually. You can land on islands and look for
Hell yeah.
treasure.
that
You can
sounds like
fight other pirates. It sounds fun.
It sounds kind of interesting, yeah. I don't know. It depends on the scale of the game, to be honest. If there's like 8 hours of content, then I don't know if it's really worth it. But
Well, Tom, we've played Grand Theft Auto Online for like
I know,
200 hours,
and
that game has
I've had my fair share of just running around doing nothing.
that game has like 1 hour of online content max, and we pushed that 200 times.
Well, because
you guys.
we
okay,
basically
first-
use it as our personal podcast simulator where we just sit around and talk and drive.
It has 1 hour of free roam content that you could just mess around in. You guys
that's
don't play
all-
any of the game modes. The game
We
modes are
pushed-
fun. You just don't like playing them.
Because
We
why would I
push
want to wait
free
for
roam.
it to load every 5 minutes? It's not fun.
Exactly. We pushed free roam for like 200 hours. If we can do that, we can do that with like any game.
You don't like the online game modes, but they're awesome.
They're
They're really
awesome.
not, though.
They're like
They are.
they're
Some of them are.
okay. Every time I say, "Hey guys, we're gonna do some game modes," you guys are just like, "No, I'm not."
No.
There's been like 5 times when I say, "All right, let's play game modes," and then no one does anything.
5 out of the 2 billion times we played that game.
Okay, but it's fine. I don't need to ask any more times if I know you're gonna say no. That's when I
You
just
don't know.
stop.
Apparently, Rare had to reiterate that.
That's a rare game.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
Rare.
Okay.
They had to reiterate apparently that it's not free to play, and you're actually gonna have to pay for it. Why do
No,
people just-
I
No
hate
one
paying for things I
expected
enjoy.
that. When did they ever say it was free to
Uh,
play?
I don't know. They probably misled.
No,
someone saying that.
people probably just assumed
Why? Why would you assume that?
because people are selfish now and they just
People
want
don't want
a
to pay
free
for
game.
games, Tom.
It's stupid. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the Skyrim remaster.
Hey guys, Todd Howard here. Buy my game.
Buy my
it's
game.
just the same game except with God rays and mods.
Yeah.
That's literally all you really need to say. Because I mean, it's pointless. It doesn't really need to be made. It's nice that I guess they're
Definitely
putting the
doesn't need to be made.
PS4 and Xbox One. It's nice that they're pushing that game out of the new console, but
I don't know. There's no reason for it to exist, really. They would have done a lot better to remaster one of the older games.
Well, Skyrim sold way better than
I
any of the
know.
older
I know the
games,
reason
so-
they did it, but it would have been way better to remaster one of the older games.
Nah,
Like
I don't know.
I feel like I had my like lifetime fill of Skyrim when I played like 70 hours of it between the time that I illegally controlled it and when I actually bought it. And
There's still
I
people
don't
who
need
play
to,
that game.
I know there are, but I don't know why. Like, it's not even that the combat's not that good. There's so many they're like games with like way better combat. All the quests are like the exact same thing in the exact same place. Like, the only thing that I really enjoyed about that game, like a lot, was the atmosphere.
I mean, I liked it.
Well, you're a scrub lord, and you should kill yourself.
I've played that game with a bunch of different characters, and I just make a character and go around. I did get sick of the same quests over and over eventually, because I mean,
Because
there's
you eat
not
shit so much.
well, there's not many like different quest lines to go through that like you can do the story in a different way. It's just like you do Brotherhood, you do
Well,
the companions, you
yeah.
do that. There's there's not really a way to differentiate your character from any other character. It's just the same way.
Even
You go through the
choosing
game.
the Empire versus the what is it? The Nords,
Stormcloaks.
the Stormcloaks. Even choosing that, all it does is flip the sides. It doesn't really change the quest line that much.
No, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's
Just-
exactly the same. It's
It's
stupid.
just instead of like going to the Stormcloak castle, you go to the Empire, or vice versa, and it's stupid.
You're a bigger hack than Kojima, Todd. Get out of here.
But I mean,
Speaking
the
of
new
Kojima,
Fallout- okay.
Death
I was gonna
Stranding.
But you mean everyone quick? Let's all make conspiracy theories about Kojima.
That's the best
because-
part about the games, though. Going in
They
the
showed
threads and
zero
seeing all the
gameplay.
weirdos make like crazy conspiracy theories was more fun than playing Metal Gear Solid 5.
I mean, no, I don't think so. I have
But you
more
weren't
fun
in those
playing.
threads. You weren't in those threads. You don't know. You don't know how much fun you could have had.
Metal Gear is fun. I loved
You
it.
don't know, Ryan.
I still
You
love
don't
Metal Gear
know.
Solid 5. Yeah, it was good.
It's just I still go back to the game. Like I was playing it earlier.
I know.
It's just a game to mess around in.
Yeah, it's really fun to mess around in. But I like how we have no idea what Death Stranding is, even though we got a trailer. Like,
Norman
you can't
Fetus
tell me
Deletus
you know. Besides that, it has Norman Fetus Deletus Redis in it. You can't tell me anything about that game.
It is about Norman Reedus and his very young baby child that came out of his own womb fighting against Christ and his four horsemen of the apocalypse.
And his baby turned into oil, and also the entire ocean is dead, and also there was lava on the sides,
Yes.
and also just fucking whatever.
His
They don't even
His-
have. They don't even an engine for the game yet.
his oil baby will help him fight Christ and the four horsemen of the apocalypse.
I don't know where I read it, but apparently it's supposed to be like a survival action game that turns into psychological horror or something. Which
That's-
sounds really
I'm
good
not
because Kojima's really good at horror.
I'm not surprised.
Kojima's really good at messing with people's fucking brains with making convoluted, weird ass storylines.
Yes.
What do you mean he's good? Why do you say he's good with horror?
Have you seen the
PT.
prologue to Metal Gear Solid 5?
No.
No, that's really good. It's like really good.
Is
And
it?
PT's really good too.
Well, PT had Guillermo del Toro's help.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, but the first mission of Phantom Pain actually was pretty cool and like horror.
It was really spooky. I watched Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain the movie last night, but I fell asleep about like an hour and a half into it. But like that first mission is like pretty spooky. Like it gives off a good sense of terror.
I wonder if they might come out like closer to the time when was it Death Stranding has like more gameplay and stuff. If they'll come out and be like, yeah, Guillermo is helping out with this game again.
Maybe.
I doubt it.
He said he wants to work on it. He wants to work with Kojima.
I won't be surprised
And,
if they
and we
do.
knew Norman Reedus was working with Kojima on his new game for a while.
What if Guillermo just tweets out like around the time that gameplay comes out the Kojima drinking Konami's Tears picture again?
What
Like
if he
Norman
tweets
Reedus
out
did.
Norman Fetus Deletus Redis?
Norman Fetus Deletus Redus. What a
Is
legend.
that so dumb? It's such a
What do you
dumb
mean it's so
name.
dumb?
That's
It's
an amazing
it's
name.
literally what happens.
Norman
There's a fetus there, then he
Deletus.
deletes it.
Okay,
Let's talk about Spoderman.
What
Okay, here we go.
what's there
Spider-Man.
to really talk about though? It's like
We can talk about
Okay.
how
We know-
disappointed we are that
Get outta
it
here.
didn't show anything good, and
The
we still
bullet
hope
talk.
that it's Spider-Man2.com.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2, not the PC version. There's a PC version
Yeah,
that's a
not
piece
the
of garbage.
PC version.
well,
The
Let's-
Xbox and the PS2 version and GameCube were the
GameCube.
greatest. Like, it's the greatest superhero game I've ever played.
what can we look at from the Spider-Man? It's Insomniac Games, who did Sunset Overdrive, really well known for
Okay,
its movement.
yeah, movement.
And they
Wasn't
also
that an
did,
open world game.
Yeah.
What?
Sunset Overdrive was open world now.
Yes.
Yes.
See,
So
Peter?
chances are chances are they're going to nail Spider-Man's movement and web slinging really well for this
They
game.
If
better.
they do, that's like 90% of the Spider-Man game. Like just
Exactly.
having fun swinging around New York.
Swinging
I mean,
around
that's
in
why
open world New York and saving random crimes and doing fun shit.
That's why
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2 on the Xbox, PS2, and GameCube was so good. 'Cause that's
Exactly.
like all you could do for so much of the game.
And if
Yeah, I
that's
know.
not what this game is,
Then
I'm
it's gonna be garbage.
Go to Insomniac Studios and tell them that they suck.
I'll be surprised if it's not an open world Spider-Man game.
I mean,
It's
from
Even if
From
it is
what
open
they
world, it
showed,
still
it
has to be a
looked
good
good.
game.
what they showed, it looked good. I mean,
What
there
they showed
was a
was
little bit
cinematic
of
stupid
in-game
bullshit.
rendered. It was
No.
it was
You say that, but I don't think so. I don't think they would go out of their way to like just be like, look at this one like 2-second section of like real game footage.
Well, it's in-engine rendered, I believe,
Well, the
which
whole
is
thing
cool.
probably is, but it's like rendered over like
The engine
700
looks good. I
times.
know it won't look that good,
No, it's
obviously.
not going to look anything like that. It's going to look way
But
worse than that. I
The engine
guarantee
looks
it.
pretty good. I mean, it might not.
Wait,
but
what?
it still
It
looks
won't.
really cool.
What is he saying? The cinematic trailer is going to look as good as the actual game?
Mhm.
No, I'm saying it's
No.
in-engine rendered, which if that's what the engine can do, it's
That
going to
doesn't
look
mean the
a little
game's
bit
gonna
worse.
look like that.
That's
even close.
that's the
You
That's
realize
the
the render
engine
distance is going to be
performing
way
without-
worse. It's going to have like way shittier textures, way shittier. It's going to be like look really jaggy. It's going to look, I don't know.
that's the
Well,
engine working.
All I know
That's
is
the
that
engine. That's the engine
they-
working with literally nothing going against it. Look at Battlefront. How good like Battlefront looked in engine like 2
Battlefront
years
still
ago.
looks good. It's just
still
that
looks
it has
good. It
no
doesn't
content.
look- It looks good. It doesn't look like the way it did with the in-engine footage a couple years ago.
Anyway, you know what I'm happy about though, that it has nothing to do with any of the Marvel movies. It's its own separate thing. So
Mhm.
they're not going to be tied down to some storyline, and they're coming up with their own crap for it. So that's what has me excited. Because every time like they get movie studios involved or like it has to be a tie-in with a movie, it always ruins the game.
Oh, that's not true. Spider-Man 2 was a tie-in.
Yeah, it's true, I guess.
So you just fucked yourself on your ass.
But like nowadays with regular like non Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 2 is like a very rare case. It like you don't see that happen anytime
No,
now.
Spider-Man 2
No,
hold
you're
up.
right. It is a pretty general rule that movie games suck.
Does Spider-Man 2 hold up?
I don't know. I haven't played it in 10 years.
GROMcast playthrough.
I mean, I need to get an
Ground
AV
games playthrough.
converter first, but then we
I
can't.
have my original Xbox here,
I
and
have my GameCube. It's right there.
I have my broken Xbox with the game on it.
I don't know if I have the disc anymore.
I still have the
Are you there?
disc.
Are you there, Spoderman? No, I
I
don't see
mean,
you.
I always
I
enjoyed
have more
doing
games.
the pizza missions where you couldn't do any acrobatics or else it would ruin the pizza, and it was hilarious.
All right, let's go down the list.
Um,
Let's talk about Detroit.
Detroit
Yeah,
Very
becoming
interesting
Android or
game.
whatever.
becoming Android.
Very, very interesting looking game.
Yeah, I'm happy with the way it looked.
It's yet another
lot of-
cinematic experience from David Cage.
A lot of looks like you can make a lot of different choices in it, which is
Which is the important
Fun.
thing. There's a lot of those types of games where it's like, oh, look at this choice. It does like one thing and doesn't really change much of the game. Whereas this looks like it actually affects the game.
they showed in that trailer like you could push the kid away, shoot the guy. I'm sure shooting the kid is probably an option if you really wanted to do that.
I mean, that's my option right there. Just you're supposed to save that kid. No, just shoot the kid and let the android live. That sounds like a good option.
Well, as far as choose your own adventure games, one of the most important things in it is how open is the choose your own adventure, and the second being story, and both of those look pretty good in Detroit. So
Yeah, I mean, after Ellen Page Simulator, we need a good game. Ellen Page
What?
Spooky Ghost Simulator.
What studio's making that game? Is it the same studio as Heavy Rain?
It's the same studio as Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls. It's David Cage's game studio. I don't know what it's called.
Okay.
it's called
What?
Suck Your Cuck.
But he's made games ever since like Fahrenheit, and even before that, he's made the same type of game always, which some people criticize as not even being games. They're just like basically he's Kojima. He's the American version of Kojima, where he just makes movies.
So he's a hack.
Yeah.
All right.
Like
Well,
Well,
Todd
considering it's like a 20, 30-hour movie, that's impressive.
it's pretty sweet, I
Mhm.
guess. I mean, if you're into that kind of stuff,
All right, so next on the list, what do I do? Gravity Rush 2?
you can. I don't know. There's not much to say about it besides
I don't even know I don't know what game this is based on title. I probably saw it, but I have no clue
Gravity
what
Rush.
Gravity Rush 2 is.
It was original. Gravity Rush One was a PS4 or a PS Vita title that they ported to the PS4 a little while ago.
Vita.
It was a pretty good game. I enjoyed it. It was a. It's
Yeah,
a
I
game.
know.
It's
No clue for me.
you can fly up in the air and like you just swoosh around and it looks pretty nice. There's not much to say about it because I didn't really pay much. I didn't watch the. I watched like one trailer. But I don't know when it's coming out or anything about it. We can move on to The Last Guardian, which is kind of the same way, except for
We didn't
they
see much of
changed-
it. We saw a trailer.
yeah, they changed their art style. It looks like to a more like a cartoony, cel shaded look. But that's about it. I don't know if they actually downgraded the graphics or not. It didn't seem like they were downgraded that much. If they were,
The game looks like it's gonna tug your heartstrings about a story of a cute animal and their child companion.
yep,
But do you know what I'm really excited for, guys?
your Venus.
What?
Above any other game announced at the Sony conference,
What's that?
Persona
Arkham
5?
VR.
What?
The game-
Arkham VR.
The game that they just had Mark Hamill's Joker saying like he Batman, you wear the mask always,
I didn't
ha
even
ha
see the
ha.
trailer.
I don't know.
There
it's-
isn't a trailer. It's just 2 seconds of Mark Hamill's Joker saying like you. Basically, he just says like a line that basically says that Batman has become the man behind the mask, just sort of playing off like haha look mask VR. It's the same thing. And then it says
I
like
don't know,
Arkham
it's-
VR.
I don't know
I'm
what I
sorry.
really feel about it. It's
I thought
You
they
can't
were
feel
done with
anything
the
about it. If he said what he
Yeah.
says is true, there's nothing they can do. Or there's nothing you can feel. It's just, do you like Mark Hamill or not?
I think it was Mark Hamill's Joker. I mean, I know he does the voice of the Joker
Well, do
and
you
all
know
the
what Mark Hamill's Joker sounds like? You should by now.
Yeah, but he does the voice of the Joker in all the Rocksteady games, and this is a Rocksteady game, so
Let me
it
see
depends
what
how it
he
gets
said.
pulled off. It depends how it gets pulled off in VR, I guess.
yeah.
It depends on what it even is.
Because I don't feel like they're gonna try to pull off like you flying through the air in VR.
If it's
and
just
then
Arkham
dive
Knight
bomb.
VR, that would be weird.
That would
If
be
you're
terrible.
if you're like VR,
It's a
like flying through the
PlayStation
air, then
No.
if you're flying through the air and like dive bombing in VR to tackle someone, that's gonna be super nauseating and just like
How
does it
would,
make a lot
that
of
would
people
probably
throw
wouldn't even
up?
work because it has to be. Well, I don't. It doesn't have to be, but it would most likely be first person. And how do you
Yeah.
play that game in first person?
Exactly.
exactly. Yeah.
That's what we're gonna find out. I'm excited to see what they're gonna do with it.
Well, yeah, it
The only
sounds
other-
interesting. I can't have. an
Are you
opinion.
just it's just gonna be a third person game with the screen an inch away from your face?
No, I think it's just gonna be you're in Batman's mask, but I don't know how they're gonna pull that off. But I mean,
I guess they could give you something like kind of like I guess a spider sense, telling you like there's someone behind you, there's someone to your left, there's someone to your
It's
right.
probably gonna be like those Wii games, you know, where you like you throw the things at the screen. You know what I'm talking about? Like, and then it just like you do this.
Oh, it just like pans around.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, it's like a rail
So,
shooter. It's gonna be a
if it's
rail
just-
shooter. where
If
you
it's
throw
just a
batarangs.
rail shooter, if it's just a rail shooter, I'm gonna laugh so
That would be
flying, I
really
wouldn't
funny.
buy that.
You probably would. You'd probably spend like $800 on the PSVR and a new PS Neo.
$400.
A PS Neo and the game and the PSVR
Just so
PSVR.
I
So
can
I can
be
have
so I can be
rail
Batman.
shooter Batman.
on rail shooter.
Where you
I
throw
want-
the batarangs.
If it actually is just that, I'd laugh a lot.
I'd
I
laugh
really would.
really hard. That would be amazing.
I mean,
Amazingly
the only other
terrible.
VR thing they announced was the Star Wars X-wing Battlefront experience.
And don't
Which
forget
remote-
about Final Fantasy VR.
Oh, that looked horrible.
Why does it look? What looked horrible about it? They didn't even show anything really.
Final Fantasy, all together, Final Fantasy 15 looked very meh.
I don't know why.
Final
It
Fantasy
seems
15,
fun.
Final Fantasy 15 is actually looking more and more fun to me as I see
Yeah,
more
Final
of
Fantasy. They have like a pretty good combat
That's something.
system. It seems pretty good. Like I'm
When
intrigued.
they're-
I'm excited
when
about
they're-
it.
When they were fighting that Titan, it looked a lot of fun to me.
Yeah, it looks really fun.
If
I
it-
love fighting giant
it-
monsters.
Did you see the Xbox gameplay? Like
If it
looked-
eventually gets ported to the PC, I'll probably buy it.
It might be. I don't know.
Right now, it's not planned for PC, but considering all the 13 trilogy was, I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up getting ported.
I don't know. Is 7 the remake coming to PC?
Not that I know.
Hmm.
But we also haven't seen 7's remake since last year.
With its 1 frame per second.
No, 1 frames per second was the Xbox One version of 15. Like they were playing. That's why I was saying it looked very but that's not the only reason. The gameplay looked but like it was running like a PowerPoint slideshow there
Remember
on
the
the
Platinum
Xbox
demo?
One.
We tried to make a Grommet Games out of it. Remember how bad the frame rate was in that?
Yeah.
What demo?
The Platinum demo for Final
The
Fantasy
one
15,
for Final
where you play as
15.
a little kid and then at the end you fight that thing.
Noctis.
You don't fight Noctis, you are Noctis.
Yeah, I know. You play as Noctis.
Yeah, a kid.
We didn't get any Kingdom Hearts 3 news, which kind of was questionable. No Final Fantasy 7 news, which was weird.
And no Red Dead news. Red Dead Redemption 2 or
Yeah.
Red Dead, whatever the next one would be,
But-
since Red Dead Redemption 2 is technically probably not what it'd be called, because since it was a Red Dead Revolver.
But Rockstar is not known to really do much with E3. They're just known kind of announce when they announce.
I mean, they did announce PS4 GTA 5 on stage last year, I believe.
Was GTA
so-
5 initially announced during E3 though? I
No,
don't think it was.
but
So
who knows? We might get some news from them something soon or something like that. But Red Dead Redemption 2 is something that I would be super excited to see.
the next Red Dead game.
Yeah, that we didn't get that. I mean,
What else
Wait,
was really
the-
shown there? That's
the,
like
but
worth it?
my favorite thing was the Bethesda DLC, where people are so fucking pissed at Todd Howard for that season pass right now. Because right now the season pass costs $50. It originally cost $30, but then they said, "Oh, we're gonna make more DLC." And the second wave of DLC is basically just what they did last time, which is like 2 packs worth, like full of worthless BS. Like, oh look, it's more stuff for your workshops. Like they added elevators and shit, and people are like, "This should have already been in the game." But the last DLC, I thought it was a New Vegas remaster, to be honest, because it looked like they had the Legion from New Vegas in it, and it was the Nuka World DLC, which looks really interesting in a theme park. I mean, I'm gonna play it. I already have a season pass, so I'm guaranteed to get it.
What if you aren't though?
I mean, I am. I've already have the DLC. I might not. I'm not guaranteed to play it, but I'm guaranteed to at least own it. Unless
And we
Todd
got-
says no, never mind. You don't. That pass isn't more enough. Then you have to pay more, and then I have to pay Todd more money.
And we got 2 card games.
Yeah,
2
Card
Gwent,
games are
virtual
my
card
favorite.
games.
Gwent was the worst
Gwent-
part of Witcher 3, and no
Elder
one cares
Scrolls.
about
That
Elder
was
Scrolls.
world building. That was immersive. Every time I saw that option for Gwent, I was like, I'm not gonna play Gwent right now.
Exactly. Every time
think
I
it's cool
saw the
that-
option, I was just like, no.
I think it's cool that they actually made it a full game. I think that's just pretty cool. But
I mean, it's cool for people who actually cared and played that game,
Yeah.
but there's no games that really have done make your own game inside of a game, right? Like Knights of the Old Republic had what was it?
Well, why is that supposed to
Pop-
make your own game inside of a game though? That's just the way I saw it. It's just a card game. It's for the people that like the Witcher
No,
series.
but
who
what,
like
what he
the
means
Gwent
is
card game.
like a game inside a game. Like
A card game inside of a game to get money and just play. Like Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 had the game Pazak inside of there, and it was really stupid, and I never played it. It was basically just a remade thing of Blackjack, except a little bit different, and I was just like, this is bullshit, and I don't want to play it.
But Gwent, I'm pretty sure, is already based off of the card game that was inside the books that the Witcher series is based on. So it's not like it was made just
did
for
they
the.
flesh out the card game that much in the books?
I'm not sure how much they did in the books. I'm pretty sure it was in the books though.
It probably was.
It was boring, though. Every time I played Gwent, I just was like, I could just be out there fighting monsters.
But you probably also think something like Hearthstone is boring. But
No,
not
I
everyone
love
thinks that.
Hearthstone.
Then maybe you'll like Gwent when it's its own standalone
I
game.
won't.
and they
I've already
actually flesh out
played
the
it
features.
I've already played it inside of The Witcher.
But
It's the same game.
It's not the exact same game. They added more to it. It's not just this is Gwent from Witcher 3.
It is.
we went
It's a
and we-
standalone Gwent. Where you
we
don't have
went
to pay
back.
$60 or whatever to buy.
We
The
went
Witcher.
back. We fleshed out the feature. We fleshed out the gameplay. Gwent. We made it its own thing. Try it out. It's fun.
I don't like it.
We're coasting off Hearthstone's coattails.
Hearthstone is good because it's just Magic the Gathering for noobs. And I was like, okay, I don't really want to pay $1 billion like you'd have to in Magic the Gathering to get good. So I just ended up playing Hearthstone, and I was pretty good at it.
Or you guys want to talk about Days Gone? Also,
You
known
mean
as
The Last of Us 2?
Everyone thought it was TheLastofUs2.com.
I thought it was Ride to Hell too.
Retribution.com.
I mean, I enjoyed the Days Gone trailer. I mean,
It was
it was
interesting.
a little weird that you could hit any zombie once in any spot and they just went down. But I mean,
What would you
it's
expect
still,
from Horde Simulator? I mean, how else are you going to take out the Horde with your infinite
It's-
ammo?
I know, it was still cool though, that having like a horde of zombies like that, and not having it just be like, oh, this is a scripted cutscene of like, these zombies are like, they'll just keep coming no matter what. That there was a set amount of zombies and you could defeat them. There was just a shit ton of them.
I don't
Like
know.
a
If
lot of
that's the only
zombie-
mechanic in the thing though that's like new, then it's not really that interesting to me.
I mean, it's a
Other
zombie
than that,
game.
it looks just like another zombie game.
You're not wrong. I mean, hopefully they do something else to make it better, but as of now, it's just another zombie game, and there's a shit ton of those.
You're not wrong.
Fucking God of War 4, dude.
Yeah, God of War. Mike looked interested by that.
I've played God of War, I think 3 and Ascension, and then I played like the PSP version or
Yeah,
whatever.
there's the PSP one. That I played a little bit of that on yours.
Yeah, it was
I'm,
really
I'm mostly interested by it because it's Norse.
yeah,
I like
and it
Norse
looks like
mythology.
they changed up at least the whole dynamic of the game. It looks a lot different than at least the way that the camera was and the way that the gameplay went from that trailer.
It's gonna play mostly the same when it comes to actually God of War. When
Yeah.
they get to actual gameplay, it's gonna be the same. It's gonna be the same.
But I mean,
fast.
at least they changed it up because people were getting sick of like Greek mythology because he basically already killed every fucking god.
Well, he did kill every single god. He finished off Mount Olympus in God of War 3.
Yeah. So
So now he's gonna kill whatever Thor and Odin and all the other Norse gods.
I mean, I'm down for that.
To me, it looked just like God of War with tacked on scripted story segments with no gameplay value.
Why, like little kid?
Yeah, just
Little,
like walk through the forest with your little kid. Shoot your arrow. Point at the deer.
it didn't seem that upbeat. I mean, it was more like shoot your arrow.
No, I know, but I'm joking because like God of War, when you think God of War, you're like, oh my god, fighting monsters, killing things, so epic, and then you're like, oh, heart-touching little story kid with this little.
But
kid
I
where
think
you
God of War. I
trot
think
through the forest.
seeing the random boobs of all the Greek goddesses, because that's all that God of War was, dude.
I don't know. I'm not really interested. I probably won't buy it.
They're trying to make some sympathy for Kratos, which will probably work, but this is also a
Work on
prologue.
idiots.
We don't know how the game's actually gonna turn out in the long run.
It'll be shitty.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like a little bit of sympathy for Kratos.
I wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
So what the game's
He
about,
probably-
man. They need to go back to
he
their
probably-
roots.
He probably
I
has some
mean-
PTSD from killing off an entire race of gods.
Kratos
Not
doesn't
really,
get
dude.
PTSD.
He did it because they killed his family. He was justified in his mind. I don't think.
Well,
he
maybe
did
they'll-
PTSD.
Maybe the little kid's gonna be killed by the Norse gods now, and then he's gonna go kill all them.
I hope he does.
Isn't
I
that
hope
what's
happens.
gonna happen? I hope they just rehash the
likely.
exact same storyline. They're just like,
That's
you know what
most
we
likely.
did in God of War 1 and all the way up till 3? Let's do that again, boys. That'd be pretty funny.
Aren't you guys so excited for Forza Horizon 3?
No.
Oh yeah,
That looks
so
like my favorite
good.
game.
Actually,
Racing.
you know what I am excited for?
Your Venus?
Fractured Butthole.
I don't know what it is.
The South Park game that's
South
gonna
Park Fractured Butthole.
It looked really good. I know neither of you have played Stick of Truth, but the Stick of Truth is really funny. I don't know, you guys aren't really big South Park fans. I'm
I
not
just
really
don't
that.
watch it. I don't really.
Yeah, it's
I
not like
watch it on occasion. It's like if I turn on my
that's
TV.
where I was.
I'll watch it.
I was in the same ballpark as you, Tom. Like I had probably seen like a few episodes.
Well, I watched
But then-
like seasons like 1 through 8 or 10 or whatever back when they had.
Yeah,
it
I've
in
seen like a lot of it. It's just not really my favorite
Tom,
show.
never. Yeah, but like I had seen a few episodes basically, and then I had watched someone like an episode or two of someone's playthrough of Stick of Truth, and I just thought it looked really interesting, really fun to play, and it was. It was as funny as like the best episodes of the show, but you have a game world to mess around in that was really cool. And I mean, I love the Stick of Truth. I would still go back and play it. Like I was thinking about going back and playing it just to get pumped for Fractured But Whole, which this one, instead of being in a fantasy world like the last one is, like a sort of D&D fantasy thing, this one's set in a superhero fantasy that the kids come up with, where everyone has their own superpowers and you can choose your superpower. And like it just, from the trailer at least in the Ubisoft conference, it was making fun of like the Marvel movies and stuff, like the
You
Token
guys
Black
know I
Kid.
give tons of shits about those.
Yeah, the Token Black Kid Token was like, why can't I be in Phase 1? And they're like, you saw Marvel movies, they didn't put Black Panther in until that's when you have to stuff the black guy in. Like they were making like it's the same social commentary that they always do, you know. But it
You want
was
Civil
really-
War?
Yeah.
I want Civil War, but that doesn't happen till Phase 3.
Exactly.
Who cares? It's just
Like-
playing off the whole superhero thing right now.
That had
Which
me
is funny.
really hyped. Like that, I'll probably get like day one at least if it's what they promised, and at least it's an Obsidian game, and Obsidian is well known for being really good game developers. Like they've made Knights of the Old Republic 2, they've made Stick of Truth, they made I think Pillars of or Divinity Original Sin. I think
Pillars of
they made
Resilience.
Fallout New Vegas. They made like a bunch of my favorite games. Obsidian's one of my favorite developers, and I'm so glad that they're doing this. I'm excited for it. What other Ubisoft games were there? Oh, Star Trek VR, boys.
My
You
favorite.
can play as LeVar Burton, aka Geordie LaForge.
And Mike's True Graphics Horror came out.
Yeah, where he didn't like the graphics.
He didn't like the graphics.
Oh, what game?
Star Trek
Star
VR.
Trek VR.
Oh yeah, the graphics look, the hands look gross.
I didn't,
If I only
I
have
didn't
to-
see much besides like a little picture.
If I have to look at the hands for the whole gameplay because I'm sitting at a desk pushing a button, I want the hands to look nice.
Yeah,
I mean, it seems like a fun game if you and all your friends got together at one point and just like we're having a party and then you just all sat down in the same room and played it, if that's possible. That seems like a fun like experience.
Oh, I wouldn't
it
doubt
would probably be fun to
with
just
it.
like
It's
RP
a
Star
party.
Trek.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically playing like a D&D type thing with Star Trek where you role play, but you just get that fun experience and you get to actually see what's going on.
Do I think it'll
Hell
be
yeah, I'll
fun?
do that.
Do I think it'll be fun for like more than one time and for like multiple,
Yeah.
like many hours? Probably not.
No,
It's just, I think it would.
no, definitely not.
It'd be at
It's-
least a couple, like, depending on how much content's in the game.
Ryan, it's called Star Trek: The Bridge Simulator.
Yeah.
You're literally only on the bridge. You're not doing drop missions. You have one position on the bridge and you just fulfill that position. It'll probably be fun a couple times. to
Missions
RP it.
and quests inside that bridge. I mean, I could at least get a few play sessions out of it. Depending on the price point, it might, like, if I can at least get like 4 or 5 times of like different friends, like us playing it, I would definitely say it'd be worth like at least like 30.
You're
40.
talking about it like we all just have VR. We're all just sitting around like, yeah. this
I
is
know,
fun.
but that's the thing. You also all have to have a VR
Do
headset,
you have
which
to have a
It-
VR
it-
set? A lot of
yes.
the VR games you don't have to have one.
I'm
Maybe,
pretty sure
yeah.
it's a VR game, like VR.
well, I mean, VR games don't always have VR, Mike.
Yeah, Mike.
So
Fuck you.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. It's just like I probably won't buy it.
Like Resident Evil 7, the game
I'm
that
not gonna buy it
was
because I don't
in
have
the
VR. So
States.
there you go.
I'm not gonna buy it because it doesn't look like I'll have that much fun with it after like 1 or 2 times.
I mean, it depends on which VR platforms it releases for. Wasn't it an Oculus exclusive or something?
What?
Star Trek VR.
I wouldn't even buy an Oculus.
No,
So
I think it's a multi-platform for VR. It's whatever.
I'm wondering.
VR needs to become cheaper before I'm willing to invest in it at
It's
all.
a 4-player VR co-op game for the Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, and the PlayStation VR, so it's multi-plat. So, I mean, if I buy a PlayStation VR to play Arkham Knight or whatever. I would definitely buy that and just have some fun with it. I mean, you guys probably won't have PlayStation VR, so it'll be pointless other than the fact that like we could all just try playing as Jean-Luc Picard, and I can yell "Data fart" on my face a bunch of times.
Epic reference, bro.
It'd be a good meme. I mean, I'm excited.
All right.
I don't know about you guys, but I mean, yeah.
Overall thoughts on E3?
Sony won.
Worse than last year.
Worse than last year.
Sony won.
I don't know. Well, you see, being pretty much that the only thing I really care about. Oh yeah, let's talk about Watch Dogs 2 for a second. Just before we wrap it up, let's talk about that joint.
There's nothing to talk about. It looks crappy.
It looks.
Well, what game?
Watch Dogs 2.
Oh, it's Watch Dogs.
Edgy hacking.
Yeah, this like we're hip guys. Look at our game.
It
Trailer.
looks like they took like a bunch of like
Drugs?
like 40-year-old guys, and we're like, okay, what are the kids like these days?
They like
and that's
epic
what they put
electronic music and awesome memes. Put it in the game.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what happened.
And I was just like, ugh. Like his like in character intro where he's like dancing and like edginess, and he's got a like cue ball for a whip toy thing. And I was just like, no, this is unnecessary and shit.
All right,
You know what I'm saying?
we can go back to the wrap it up now.
No.
Don't forget to wrap up your dogs, children. But being is pretty much the thing that I care about the most at E3 is Nintendo. I'd say it was better than last year because Nintendo really didn't do any shit last year.
I still stand by it. I have no idea how Nintendo won by showing only one game.
I know how they won. They showed
They
a really
didn't
great
win.
game. Yeah, they did.
No.
I think Nintendo won.
You're gonna tell
Some
me
of the-
Horizon Zero Dawn and
all the
fucking-
All
only
the games put together in the Sony conference were better
they don't
showing
get
off
me.
than
They don't
just
get me
Zelda.
as excited as Zelda.
That's because you're both Nintendo fanboys from
No,
like.
Ryan,
It's not even
Ryan,
about being a fanboy.
Ryan, all the games put together in the Sony and Xbox conference was like 20 cinematic trailers and 4 actual gameplays. Cinematic trailers will never beat good gameplay for me.
I'm sorry that you are Sony fanboys who. Sorry, Nintendo fanboys
All right,
who
well,
saw like.
we're talking to the Microsoft fanboy over here.
I'm wearing a Microsoft shirt, but I got this for free, so that's all I'm saying. I decided to wear it for E3 because our E3 coverage because it's like.
We're talking to the kid. We're talking to the kid who literally got excited over Arkham VR
Yeah, dude.
got
when nothing
shown.
was shown.
Yeah.
I love Batman.
Nothing got shown.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the prospect of it.
They
I didn't
showed-
say I was excited for gameplay.
They
I didn't say I
showed-
was gonna buy it. I said I might buy it if it's good. If as soon as they show me gameplay and I see that it's like cool like the Arkham games, I'll buy it
You're
probably.
gonna buy a
It's gonna be,
$400 system.
I mean,
It's gonna be
depending on what
batteries
the
and
other
shit.
PlayStation
That's
VR
too much.
titles are. PlayStation VR is the most exclusives right now. I need to see what the other titles that they have for it are. I mean, I want some VR headset, and that's the cheapest, most affordable one.
I think if I'm gonna go for VR, I'm gonna spring and get the Vive. I don't think I'd want to chintz out and get
The Vive looks
PSVR.
like it's going to lose out to. It's going to be like another Wii. No one really wants to motion game. I don't really want to be standing up in my room, like walking around, being like with the other things. The Oculus seems
it
like the one.
depends. Like, there's a reason I haven't bought VR right now. It's not because I can't afford it. I mean, it would be.
It's nothing worth it right
really
now.
expensive, yeah, but there's nothing really worth it.
I mean,
aren't people working on cheaper like open source VR also?
I don't know.
who knows? Oculus right now is using their Facebook money to make everything an Oculus exclusive, which is weird.
Which is dumb. They're like actively trying to kill VR right now, basically.
What's the one VR that's like tracks your eyes and stuff?
Fove. I think Fove.
What?
I think Fove.
Yeah, Fove.
That one looks really
That's
interesting.
It's expected to be pretty cheap. Works on like a wide range of PC requirements, and if that's the case, then it'll actually be really.
I'm
like,
really
good.
interested in
Guys, we
Fove.
almost wrapped it up without talking about the best things that were announced at E3.
What's that?
Doom
Breath of the
and
Wilds.
Fallout 4 being announced for HTC Vive or VR.
Oh, VR.
It's
Yeah.
I mean, okay, you can probably get those things in VR already without like just by like.
Yeah,
They'll
but
probably
they're gonna
be
get
ecosystem.
official support, which will be cool.
Ooh, yeah.
And Dishonored
Tom.
2. Dishonored 2 looks
Tom.
so
Actually, with that, I've read recently that the thing is VR has to be programmed specifically so that for like where you focus on the screen, it needs to have like special programming.
Mm-hmm.
That like if it's just
For
like
the
you take a
Vive, you
game
mean?
and no, like
Or just
every
in-
VR game, like if you
But they
if
don't
you
track
take
your eyes
just
though. How do they know where you're looking?
it's like the way they have to program it. Like if you take like just Fallout 4 and play it in VR right now, apparently if you don't look just straight ahead, everything looks blurry.
I'd assume
It's
so.
just
Makes sense, yeah.
it's just because it's like I guess the way that the lenses are and everything. That's what it does. So
Well,
I
that's
mean-
fun.
so as it turns out, I actually have to have special programming for VR support. Who knew?
I mean, you think you
I
could
mean-
just plug it right in and play everything immediately, but you know, the world never works the way you want it to.
Yeah.
I mean,
Alright.
I'm excited for that.
Well, we gave our
So
thoughts.
is that about it? Is that
Uh,
about it of E3?
Pretty much, yeah. We gave all our thoughts on pretty much everything that we cared about. I mean, there's
Sony
more.
won.
There's more stuff that I mean, there's tons of stuff we didn't talk about, but that's pretty much all the shit that we cared about. All of our general thoughts were, I don't know, Mike didn't like it as much. I thought pretty much Zelda stole the show for me. Like
Zelda definitely stole a show for me, but overall, I think there's less excitement this year than
Dude,
last
I'm
year.
excited for Zelda too. It looks cool. Hopefully, it's gonna be good enough to get people to buy Nintendo consoles because I think their games are cool a lot of the time. But I mean, there's just not enough third-party support for me to get it. So I hope Nintendo's with the Zelda title. Yeah.
yeah,
And overall, my thought on E3 were that Ubisoft had dancing meme people in the beginning. EA. Oh, we didn't even talk about EA, dude.
we don't give a fuck about EA.
Oh,
EA was
Battlefield-
here,
Battlefield one.
here. I'll tell you what happened in EA. Madden, Battlefield.
Battlefield.
More FIFA, and that's about it. There you go, guys. That was your thing. Snoop Dogg smoking a blunt while playing
Smoke weed
Battlefield
every
1.
day.
Did you see all that?
Mhm.
Like he was legitimately smoking a blunt on stage.
Mhm.
Who?
Snoop Dogg. Him
Well,
and Wiz
Zac
Khalifa and like some.
Zac Efron and Jamie Foxx were smoking also. You watched
Yeah,
that?
dude,
Did
they
you
were
see
just
like that
past,
clip
there was
of
a
like
bunch of drugs going on. Bernie from Rooster Teeth, he was had the station in between Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa, and he got so contact high from being right next to them that they were talking about it on the Rooster Teeth podcast when I was watching it that he had contact high from being just near them, which
you saw that clip of Jamie Foxx coming back onto screen to talk. He was like coughing, and then him and
Zac Efron.
Zac Efron both looked just like high out of their minds, like they just came back from smoking.
Yeah, dude, it was pretty funny. I mean, yeah, Sony won for me at least, because not having a Nintendo. If I really cared that much about Zelda, maybe they would have won, but not really. Zelda was cool, but they didn't really win anything from me.
Oh, you're a bitch.
It takes more than cinematics to win me over, so
Mhm.
that's why Nintendo got
They
me.
had more than cinematics. Like God of War looked awesome.
That was cinematics. That was like
No,
a
they had
cinematic.
gameplay, bro.
Did they show
The God
gameplay
of War
later?
had game. God of
It
War
was
had
gameplay.
gameplay.
Where was the gameplay?
Where
The
he was
whole
fighting
thing.
the giant ogre,
Oh, so like that 5-second segment?
and like the whole thing was in
That whole thing was gameplay. That
Yeah,
whole thing
and
like
it
him
looked
walking
all
with and everything.
cinematic and terrible.
What do you
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
It didn't look exciting that
No,
much.
it
like,
didn't.
But they didn't show anything exciting for it.
It looked fun.
Okay, fuck you.
It looked fun walking through a forest with a little kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Steve.
that was GROMcast number 8. That was GROMcast number 8, boys and girls. We
I
might
don't
do
know.
more of these in a more regular schedule soon. Maybe, I don't know. We have to see if we have enough content. Bye, bitches.
See ya.
Ryan, it's your turn.
Fuck you.